When it comes to blogging, like what are the major challenges you face?
First of all, I am a brilliant camera guy. I really shoot bad photos.
Brilliant and bad photos.
I'm being sarcastic. Okay. Excellent burger places. Pizzas were coming in.
That was in
Steaks.
84.
84 to 86.
During that time, you had burgers and...
Yes. Nowhere else in India possibly. There was this place called... They used to have Hungarian goulash on those days. You can imagine.
How is it possible?
It was there. There was Nagarjuna, there was a place called Amravati, there was a place called RR. Those days in Bangalore.
You still remember the name?
Yes, because RR we used to call roaring rectum.
Okay.
Because it was so hot, the food was so hot.
I mean, for some reason, Vizag is quite underrated place.
It is not promoted. See, the thing is, I think if a restaurant calls influencers and does a show, it is very important for the restaurant to maintain that and do equally good food when the common people come.
Yes.
Otherwise, the whole positive thing you are trying to do becomes negative for you. Simply South, the food, I am a big fan. Like a lot of times I quietly go and you know what I have there.
So where do you see this whole food industry in next 5-10 years? Like,
Huge because...
I mean, if a new restaurant is coming up, do you really think Swiggy and Zomato can really help them boost their business? Today, on the 9th episode of ROCH Podcast, we are having probably, I would say, the oldest food blogger in the city and probably even Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and the only person who has been named as the expert in Hyderabadi cuisine by Sanjeev Kapoor. He is none other than Sabyasachi sir.
Hi.
So thank you so much for joining us on the 9th episode of ROCH Podcast.
It's my pleasure.
I have been waiting to speak with you since you have the oldest food blogger, and I had so many things I would want to ask. Can you just share how's your feeling the city and all?
Just one thing I wanted to talk between. You called me the oldest food blogger. I'm possibly the oldest living food blogger. There was this person called Vijay Marur, who I consider the grandfather of food blogging in the city. Vijay is no more. He passed away a few years back. He was a great person. Before Sankalp, he used to review I think before Sankalp and Swati, he used to review in Times also. And I hold him in a very high regard and I have learned a lot from him.
Yeah. So how did your journey start and what's your background like?
For example, if you'll realize something, that what is the thing we do most in our life? Sleep,
yeah.
Next,
Eat.
So all of us are, spending the second largest amount of time in our life is spending eating.
Right.
Okay. So, and if you go to any family, any home, you will find there are 4 sons, father, mother, or whatever. At least 1 or 2 of them will be, what you call, they like the food. And they, crib about the bad food and want to go for the good food. Yeah. So there is a foodie in every family.
True. So it's me in my family.
Exactly. So for me, I was fortunate that I was born in a foodie family. My family, everybody used to, there used to be a lot of discussions at home about food. My first remembrance of food was when I was 5 years old. There is still this restaurant called Jimmy's Kitchen in Calcutta, one of the top restaurants for Kolkata Chinese food. So there was this place called Jimmy's Kitchen. I was 5 years old. My parents took me for a Kolkata Chinese meal, and I remember I howled and cried. Later, I was told also this because I wanted to have the red chili sauce.
Red chili sauce, okay.
Which is basically a chili paste based sauce. They were naturally not allowing me, and I remember later I realized now that why they did not allow me. So that was my first remembrance of food.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I was in a school in Calcutta. My schooling was in Calcutta, and my school was about 6 kilometers away from home. We used to take a local bus. I remember that, me and a couple of my friends used to walk back when we were in 7th, 8th, and 9th instead of coming back by the bus so that we can save that money and eat Chinese.
Okay.
So one was turning into foodie pretty fast. After my schooling, I went to Banaras for studying at the BHU. I am an engineer from BHU.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
IT BHU. So BHU, the system was that they were in every hostel. There were about 8 hostels in the IT BHU, now IIT BHU.
Okay.
Okay. So every hostel had about 7-8 messes. And about 10-20 students could get together and start a mess. It was all private.
Okay.
They could get a chef who was called Maharaj over there. Maharaj.
Okay.
Maharaj. Chefs were called Maharaj. They were given that respect.
That was which year?
This was 1978.
Okay.
I think before you were born also.
True.
Okay. So my friends used to tell me that you spend more time in the mess hopping than going to classes.
Okay.
There used to be these, this Bengali mess, South Indian mess, North Indian mess, this mess, that mess. So I used to, track where there is good food that day. And you have to, if you eat that food, you have to become a guest of a regular member of that mess. So whom to catch and how to become his guest and go and eat it.
Okay.
But the good part was, at that stage itself, we got fairly good idea about the regional cuisines.
Oh.
So that was my engineering, how I did my engineering done. Then was management. I am from IIM Bangalore.
IIM Bangalore.
Yeah. And Bangalore possibly gave me the exposure to international cuisine. In 1984 itself, there were places like The Only Place and there were excellent burger places. Pizzas were coming in.
That was in
steaks.
84
to 86.
During that time, you had burgers. And
Yes. Nowhere else in India possibly. There was this place called Casa Piccola. Okay, that guy used to have, very sloppy burgers sloppy with sauce, and they used to have Hungarian goulash on those days. You can imagine.
How is it possible?
It was there. It is in Residency Road and St. Mark's Road Junction. It was there. Devta Plaza was the building. One got quite a bit of more exposure about food. Next, I graduated. I was a sales guy, so I got sales jobs. I'm actually a sales guy. So I was in the Eastern Zone. I was based out of Calcutta. Okay. I was selling computers those days. Personal computers, mini computers, things like that. And my job entailed, going all over the Eastern region and selling computers to offices, factories, power plants, then even education institutions. So I have been to the entire Northeast almost, except a few places. Okay, and naturally wherever, like for example, I've been to Champaran and tried there. When I went there, I tried their mutton. Odisha I have been throughout. So as a result, I got God was kind that He gave me the opportunity to, really have diverse kind of food.
Right.
Okay. Then I came to Hyderabad in 94. That is about 30 years back.
That was the year I born.
So 94, I came to Hyderabad. I was transferred by my existing employer. I was again selling computers for a few years here. Okay. So that time, little bit. But Hyderabad, I was exposed to the Telugu cuisines in Bangalore. There was Nagarjuna, there was a place called Amravati, there was a place called RR. Those days in Bangalore, we used to serve these kind of food. I remember we used to...
still remember the names.
Yeah. Because RR we used to call roaring rectum.
Okay.
Because it was so hot, the food was so hot. And people used to joke, water will come out of not only your eyes, out of your ears too.
Oh, crazy. It was that hot.
But once we came to Hyderabad, I got further exposed. Like for example, very typically BHL Ramachandranpuram was one of my clients. So we used to naturally wine and dine the clients. In sales line, it is very common.
Right.
So the GM had come down and I said, sir, let's go to those days. We used to go to this place on top in Abids, Palace Heights.
Oh, I've heard about it, yeah.
So we said, let's go to Palace Heights. And all. He said, no way. I'm just going to have mess food in this Rajdut mess. That was Lakdi Kapur. Across. I said, what the hell is this guy talking about? But I went to Rajdut mess with him. And after that, every week, 2-3 meals used to be at Rajdut.
Wow, it was that good. I mean, what were they serving?
They were serving meals. They were serving the Andhra Pulao.
Oh, okay.
These were the main two things. Okay. So anyway, so this is basically my initial journey about food. Around, I think, mid 2000, 7, 8, 9, there was this site called Burp. I used to eat out a lot. My son again is a foodie. Okay, so me and my son being a foodie, and naturally there are 3 people family, we used to eat out a lot. There was this site called Burp.
Burp, okay.
Okay, Burp started taking reviews of restaurants. It was a restaurant reviews.
Yes, yes.
So I just, because I used to explore new restaurants, I started writing in Burp. Anyway, let me also write, because I'm reading that and seeing, others' reviews and getting benefited. So why not give it back? That is how it started. Okay. And that was the time where these foodie groups started, around 2010.
Facebook.
11, yes.
Okay.
And I joined one group called Hyderabad Foodies Club.
Right.
Okay. And because I was a very prolific restaurant visitor and street food eater and things like that, I used to post a lot, and I was made admin within a year or so. Okay. So that is what it was going, and I was parallelly writing in Burp. Burp was fading out slowly, and Zomato came in.
So what inspired you to start Foodaholix, and what was the journey behind it?
Yeah. Zomato actually was doing a lot of reach outs, and they reached out to us once. There were 2-3 foodie groups. They called them to this Radisson Banjara, and we understood what Zomato is, and I started writing in Zomato, and Zomato gave me a lot of network, in the sense that in Zomato, people follow you and you follow back. I came to know, food lovers from all over India. Like, I'm still in close touch with some of them.
That's through Zomato?
Through Zomato. They used to write, let's say, for Lucknow. Or let's say Calcutta especially. Calcutta was some place I used to go every year.
Right.
So I would see their review and go and then write, and then slowly get to know those guys. And some of them are still my very good friends even now. They have all evolved. Okay. But so that is how the Zomato, I had a huge number of followers, and people used to like the reviews. Plus in the foodie group also, I had a lot of friends. Foodie groups started doing these foodie meets.
Yeah.
I think the first few meets I had organized for the foodie group. Then Sankalp became admin there also. And then he took over, then I came out. Came out in the sense, came out from adminship. I'm still a member of the foodie groups. Okay. So this is what was going on. Now, over a period of time, what happened, there was... Another thing was, my son was in Bits Pilani that time.
Okay.
Once he passed out, he joined a company in Delhi. And he was also a foodie. He used to also write in Zomato. Okay. So he only came up with this idea ki, Papa, let's start a blog. Because the trend is because he was very close to all the Delhi foodies and he says the trend is, people are they're saying, why just on Zomato? You should have your own space.
Right.
So let us start this. The Foodaholix name was basically because our love for Asterix.
Your love for?
Asterix. Comics.
Okay.
Okay. So the X came like that. Okay.
So I always wondered, food, okay, I understand, but what's...
Foodaholix.
6.
X came from
Asterix.
Asterix, Obelix.
Right.
The great Gauls and stuff like that. I'm also a big fan of Asterix. So that's how it started, and we used to write about street food, and we used to write about restaurants and things like that. So this is how basically the journey started.
Great. I mean, any foodie always, has a dream of someday becoming a food blogger or a reviewer or something like that.
No, not only that. See, the thing is, the idea was never always to help others. See, the thing is, if I am able to communicate something which is good and something which is not good, it's always, desirable. Secondly, I keep on telling many people that, just because I say something is good does not mean you will like it. It is essentially your palate. So in this today people are called influencers, right? We are food influencers. In Hyderabad, there are a few hundreds, 500 influencers, let's say.
A lot.
So you go to identify those 2 or 3 whose palate is the same as yours and take their recommendation.
Okay, so
then only you will, it cannot be that just randomly because Rohit is a very popular influencer, let me, do whatever Rohit says. But Rohit likes, mutton in a particular way. I like in a different way.
So that doesn't mean the
I will
blogger is
like.
right
So
or-
over a period, I, for example, used to follow this chappie called Ashish Naik. Okay. Then this guy called Pallab.
Okay.
These guys, I know like their palate is similar to me. If they like something, there's a good chance I will like.
Right. It makes sense. Like
It makes sense
rather
to
than
do that much. You have to do.
Yeah.
See, as a food lover, food enthusiast, I have to also make some effort to see that my final journey to that restaurant is successful.
Yeah, I mean, when you mentioned that point, I just realized, rather than just blindly following all the food bloggers, probably just visit few of the restaurants. They say it's good. If it really matches with my palate,
Exactly.
then keep on following that.
Exactly.
Need not necessarily follow everybody.
Another thing is okay, maybe that will come later, but let me mention at this point since it's coming to my mind. Read what the guy has written.
Okay.
I have had experiences that I went to, let's say, a particular place. I put up 5 food photographs. And in one of them, I've really written that it was May. Okay. Next, couple of days later, one follower, he says, you recommended, I went to that place. We keep on getting this feedback from him. Oh, that dish I ordered, it was so bad. And unluckily, that photo came out the best. Okay.
Okay.
So I said, did you read what I wrote? That it was looking so attractive. So I went. So all that glitters is not gold.
Yes.
One needs to keep in mind. Lot of time, the very good looking dishes don't taste good.
True.
Like the fondant cakes,
I can, vouch for it. Like fondant cakes look really good on the outside,
Yes,
but you can't eat all that.
Yes, you try that and you're finished.
I mean, it just spoils the whole flavor of the cake.
Absolutely.
So I never recommend go for full fondant. Like few elements here and there you can remove, that's fine. But
these
just don't
kids,
do
they will say, I want Messi holding the football. Like, what do you do?
they're going to throw it later anyhow.
Anyway, they're going to throw it later.
So like when you mentioned Chinese during those days, a question came like, how did the Chinese during that time and this time, is there any difference or is the same?
See, actually, the Indian Chinese is different in Hyderabad than in Calcutta, than in Mumbai and things like that.
Okay.
Because, see, it is Indianized. Like it's okay. So as soon as it is localized, the local taste sets in.
Right.
For example, here it is much more spicier compared to what is in there. In Calcutta, there's much more use of soya sauce than in Hyderabad. People love that soya sauce there. So it's slightly salty soya and stuff like that. So it depends. Like when we came to Hyderabad, for example, there was Nanking. It was in its full glory.
Which one?
Nanking.
Nanking, okay.
Okay, Nanking was at Secunderabad.
Okay.
And I remember even in 90s, there used to be a queue during lunchtime.
Wow.
So that was there. Hiking was there that time.
Hiking. The one which is in Begumpet.
No, the one which is in Himayat Nagar. Then they started opening a few. There was the old Hyderabad Stock Exchange. Next to that was hiking. And they have now branches elsewhere also.
Right.
And then the third was Changhua. Fourth was Blue Diamond. These were the old Chinese places. They are still maintained. New places have come up. I think with the coming in of many new restaurants and especially actually the best Oriental food today, people may not like this, but is in the star hotels. Star hotels.
Okay.
Like for example, this place called Zika in Park Hyatt. It's one of the best for Oriental food. Okay.
Chinese.
Okay. Chinese and Southeast Asian.
Okay.
And Zega in Sheraton. These are good. I like mainland China. They have done an excellent implementation of Indian Chinese, for example.
I mean, that used to be our go-to spot for my whole family.
Absolutely. Then there is the Seven Sisters. Seven Sisters also has done, they do good Indian Chinese. But on a different note, Seven Sisters does the best Nepali food in the city. You try their Nepali thali. It's excellent. It's just one thali, you can get the taste of Nepal.
Yeah. I mean, since you said, I'll definitely go and try. Yeah. So, since you started blogging at a very old age.
Yes, it was 2012 or 13. So now it's 12 years now the blog is done.
So probably the landscape has drastically changed, I would say. from social media coming and all.
Yes.
And food scenario is changing a lot within the city.
Yes.
So how was the change like?
See, what happened was that over a period of time, those days, at that point, there was blogging and there was Facebook. The biggest change which came was Instagram.
Right.
What happened is from the content, in terms of the written content, the focus shifted to photographs and videos, and then Reels completely revolutionized it. And after Instagram, of course, YouTube. I prefer seeing a lot of YouTube videos, basically, because you get a lot of in-depth there.
Right.
In the Instagram, you can get an overall idea, not too much in-depth views and stuff like that. Once this came, the focus, the people also have short span of attention now. So they will see the photograph and things like that and make their decision. They will, like, even in Instagram, if you notice my posts, I write.
Yes.
But they would, I know, because my followers are in touch with me, they hardly read. Yeah. So that is a major shift, from blogging. Earlier, blogs used to be read by everybody.
Yes.
Now, blogs are read only by select few. That said, my hits are going up. I don't know, but it is like. But I do a lot of travel these days on my blog, because travel is something where you need more information, more detailed information. So, and now my blog is 50% travel, 50%.
I mean, through travel we can get to know more food.
That also is true. Yeah. But plus, like in travel, people are still interested in the long format.
Yes.
Okay. And your blog can have various things. Like, for example, one is a restaurant review. One is a street food review. One can also talk about, different kind of food. For example, I did a weekly column for Indian Express for about 2.5 years, I think. Okay. Just before COVID. My format was, I used to talk about, let's say, pattar ka gosht.
Right.
How the dish evolved and stuff like that. And finally, where all you get it in the city.
Right. So it's history and
yes, exactly. So that combo gets a lot of people want to know about the dish they're eating. So these are few areas where the blog comes in.
Right.
But today, if you ask me very frankly, the vlogs, if they're done properly, I don't have that wherewithal to do a vlog and all. But some people they do it well. Not get into a list of things. Rather, talk about in depth about the food. Some of them are really, really good. I'm more of a fan of YouTube vlogging than Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, on YouTube, you can always learn the actual depth of food.
Exactly.
It's just not the overview,
Exactly. So I'm a big fan of YouTube. I spend a lot of time on YouTube.
So when I mentioned about fusion, so I just wanted to know your thought. Like, so what do you prefer, like traditional?
I like tradition and fusion. My view is very clear. Looks are important, but taste is much more important.
So taste is king.
Taste is king. Looks are important. Definitely, I like good-looking food. Like, like if you see a good-looking girl on the road, you look at her possibly. But after marriage, you might find that her other characters are not good at all. So then characters become more important than the look. Similarly in food also, look is important, very, very important. But
taste is
the king. And second is that I welcome all these. Like people say, overfusion, molecular gastrology was a stunt and it has died. And a lot of people say a lot of stuff. I think any experiment is good because you don't know what will come out of that.
True.
Like I used to really like Fuzzy Cafe when they started. Now they have got a bit stale. Like what they are doing is whatever they were doing with potato, now they are doing with RB or something. Basically, the innovation has gone down.
Okay.
But initially, I used to love for Fuzzy Cafe. I used to love Vignesh here, for example. But yes, I have no problem with modern cuisine. I have no problem. It is definitely something worth to be tried. Because if experimentation stops, if we say that I will make this way only, the excitement will go.
It gets boring over time.
Exactly.
So when we're talking about food influencers, I wanted to ask, how do you think the food influencer culture has impacted in a positive way or negative way for the food industry in today's age?
Most positive way is that, it is possibly they've given the restaurants earlier had to go to newspapers and they had to spend a lot of money.
Right.
See, if you look at the newspaper segments also, not all, but many of them charge the restaurants for featuring them. And those charges are quite astronomical. It's not very little.
I mean,
like for example, if you've seen the Times takes out a food guide supplement.
Right.
Where, if you look at that, you'll find as if news has come regarding this restaurant doing this and that. All those are paid.
It's not featured by the the newspaper.
It is featured, but after paying.
Basically, it's a paid advertisement.
It is a paid advertorial, they call it. It's there. If you see in the corner, it is written, this is an advertorial. Okay. So that channel works out very costly for them. This influencer thing is a very, first of all, the social media and digital media itself has given this scope, but the influencers have given them a very, very economical way of talking about themselves. That's the biggest advantage the restaurants have.
Right.
On the other hand, any industry, like if you take doctors, there are good doctors, there are corrupt doctors, there are bad doctors. So similarly in influencing also, like there are people who are honest, there are people who are dishonest, people who... So all kinds of signals come out from the market.
I mean, like, how do we find the genuine ones?
As I said, that you can only find by
Trying.
Trying out. Okay, there's no way. Nobody will say who will say I'm not a genuine influencer?
Everybody will say that.
Yes, you have to try out. But as I said, there's a slip between the cup and the lip. For example, the restaurant might, when they call you for a blogger's table, they'll give you that food. The same dish might taste different later. More than these reviews, what I enjoy are the tasting sessions. There are certain restaurants, Churolto, for example. He called all of us and he said, look, guys, you don't have to write about it. He called about 3-4 of us. You just tell me how the food is. There are different other people who also do it. They take a feedback because it's something like, I make a food. Now I'm introducing it into Hyderabad. Will the people like it? I want to have an advance information.
Yes.
Now, typically influencers since represent a part of the consumer community. And it's not just influencer. They try it out on various other people. So some people are using people who are food enthusiasts. I don't like the term influencer also. Actually, all of us are food enthusiasts. To understand about how, like, from another angle, the food they have made. So these kind of advantages are there for them. Okay, second player, influencer. For them, I've told you what all, like, it is something like, I can pass out of St. Francis and just start taking photos and videos and start posting, make a food related Instagram handle and post it. Then I can somehow get some followers. I'm not getting into the somehow bit. And then I start approaching restaurants. People do this. Like, there are a lot of youngsters who are actually planning a career in, food is not a very this thing, but in, for example, your cosmetics. Today there are even mom bloggers. There are so many things. So it's given, I can say that this thing has given a new profession has been born.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Okay. Now, third is the customer. The customer, like, we can always say, they get duped and, these guys give all false reviews and they get treated. But look at the information available to the customer today. I'd say 20 years back, if I had to go to a restaurant, what information was available to me?
Almost like...
I would have read in a newspaper one review 2 months back. I would have lost that review. So when I'm going, I don't even remember. Today, if you are going to, let's say, this Tansen, the new place we just started in Gachibowli, you will get so much information in social media. That's a huge, huge boon.
Yes. I mean, now you exactly know what you will be expecting in the restaurant.
Absolutely. So I think all have benefited from this particular thing.
Suppose if I'm starting as a food enthusiast, posting and all, I mean, is getting the followers is the only target of calling myself influencer?
No, not at all. See, basically, why do you want to become a food influencer in the first place? That needs to be seen. Do you want to make money out of that? If that is so, it is a different thing. We guys are food enthusiasts. We used to, celebrate food. This thing has come as a byproduct.
Right.
Then it is over. But if you are making a career, you'll naturally go in a different track.
So basically, it depends on what's my end goal.
End goal, and like people are actually coming into this trying to make a career here. Not everybody. There are many who are not. Like for example, among the youngsters, I like this guy called I cannot tell him your Instagram handles. I don't keep on confused. There's this fellow called Yash Kumar Singh. There's this guy called Atul Sharma. They write so well. You can feel. I know them personally, but even otherwise, you feel that these guys have genuine love for food.
I mean, you can see in the way they post and the information.
Exactly. So there are people. Not everybody will come into it just to make a quick buck. But today it is a profession, becoming a profession. I am sure this will get more formalized in years. There will be do's and don'ts for influencers will be mandated by the authorities. Slowly, it will become regulated. Maybe 5 years later, maybe 8 years later. Things will because this is becoming a big profession. As I said, that a friend who in the know, one of the PR and media houses in Hyderabad, he said that easily more than 500 food influencers. And the total influencers must be in, maybe 10,000. There's tech influencers, tech Telugu influencers, all kinds of news. This is a huge market. Your lifestyle is a huge market. Your film reviews.
That's a huge market.
Fin. There's so many people. See, Fin influencers have been regulated by SEBI. But before that, I could go and say, tomorrow you buy Adani ports, and take money from Adani ports or whoever. All those wrong things were going on, pushing penny stocks and things like that. Because that is hardcore finance area.
So when it comes to blogging, what are the major challenges you face in this age?
Mainly, first of all, I am a brilliant camera guy. I really shoot bad photos.
Brilliant and bad photos.
I've been sarcastic. Okay, so I'm well known. This guy is known for bad quality photographs. That is one of my challenges. And same goes with the video. I'm not too tech savvy. So now, as the platforms are evolving, it's more and more tech. Like for example, I could have easily you can see that I can easily do vlogging, but I don't have the wherewithal of doing all that and
just doing with the phone.
Yes. So. My challenges are mostly technology. Huge challenge. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, another challenge which is not specific to me is the traffic situation in Hyderabad. Earlier, we used to go paint the city red, go to Gachibowli, go to Nalagandla, go to the other side, Kompalli and review restaurants. If I hear there's a good mutton place, I will go and taste there, eat there. These days, you have to think, जाने को 1.5 घंटा, आने को 1.5 घंटा, and all. That is
you have to spend in the road itself.
If you are going to Gachibowli, for example, you go Gachibowli, there was this Naga kitchen, for example. Those days one could go. Now one won't think. One will say, I mentally think of my territory is still mind space. Beyond that is a pain, because once you get in the IKEA traffic jam, you're finished. So that is another challenge.
It's horrible.
But I love writing. I still write. That is why, in case we going, whenever I have time, I like. But a lot of travel I write about. I travel a lot. I travel 7-8 times a year.
So, what's your favorite travel destination?
There's nothing. I like the hills a lot.
Hills.
I'll go to the Himalayas at least once or twice a year. It's a done deal. I'll go up there and stay in a homestay,
When you climb the mountain,
no, I don't climb.
Okay.
I don't climb, but there are
just
places.
the
for example, I'll tell you there's this place called Auli in Uttarakhand.
Okay.
Where you can, it's a motorable road, but the whole winter, it is totally in ice. Even the hotel you will stay, come out of the room and there is ice in front of you. Okay. That's one of my favorite places. There's another nice place in Uttarakhand called Munshiari. This is Garhwal.
Okay.
Auli is near Joshimath, where that big crack happened.
Right.
Munshiari. Then Himachal, the Spiti Valley is another place which is not so popular as Ladakh, but possibly as good. In northeast, north near China border in your Arunachal Pradesh, areas like Bumla Pass, Tawang. So I tend to go through these kind of places. Plus everywhere else also. It's not that.
I mean, any favorite place in the south?
Vizag.
Vizag?
Somehow I have this habit of going every year to Vizag. It's like mandatory break, and I stay in that Novotel. Where have you been to Novotel, Vizag? One side is totally glass,
Yes.
window, so you get a huge view of the sea. And maybe go around 1 kilometer of Novotel and stay there evening. Sit in your sofa in front of the glass and stare at the sea. We'll do it 3 days every year. We'll do one trip, so compulsory. So after, like, I have got 3 homes. One is here, one is Calcutta, where my flat is there, and my son is in Bangalore. So these 3 are my homes. My 4th home is Vizag. Like, I'll end up going there. And not much of food and all. Like, go and have some mudi mixture from the beach. That kind of stuff here and there. But I just have the street food there on the beach, whatever is available.
I mean, for some reason, Vizag is quite underrated place.
It is not promoted.
Yes.
See, the thing is, I think both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, the tourism departments have not been up to the mark in promoting the tourism destinations.
Okay.
If you look at Gujarat, for example, I was in Gujarat recently. Each of the tourism destinations, they promote so well. Here they need to, like, for example, forget Vizag, Chirala, even for Telangana, the Vikarabad place. I've heard very good things about this place called Igala Penta near Srisailam. See, tourism is not just temple tourism. It is beyond temple tourism. Then I've heard of this place called Laknavaram in Warangal. Yes. So these places, if they are promoted, you can do wonders with them.
How do you face backlashes? For a review, like, how do you handle them?
Luckily, I have not faced any other controversies. I have faced a lot of backlashes from my followers for various reasons, which are, like I told you, like I talk about something and they go there and it is not up to their mark. They have
just leave it. That's all.
No. I talk to them. And explain that, look, when I went, it was good. See, it is, again, possibly 3rd time I'm talking about it. See, if a restaurant calls influencers and does a show, it is very important for the restaurant to maintain that and do equally good food when the common people come.
Yes.
Otherwise, the whole positive thing you are trying to do becomes negative for you.
It just flips around.
It is negative. By doing the whole exercise, you actually lost. So this kind of things we get. It has to be get. Like, it can happen anywhere. Like, for example, recently I was very strongly suggesting a Bengali film which had released in the city, and people came and threw brickbats at me. Like, some people did not like. Some people came with bouquets. Some people came with brickbats. It can happen, because his taste, that movie was not good. Similarly for food.
What are the current food trends do you think are overrated or underrated?
In Hyderabad, I think, there are 3 things, 3 formats: the cafes, the resto bars, and the pubs. These are the places where everybody is expanding.
Yes.
I think there are too many of them now.
A lot.
And many will die a natural death in the next 2-3 years. People who are not good. Now, good means what? Good means their food is good. Do you think all places where the food is good, they do well? No. They have to also create the buzz.
Yeah.
And there is a bit of luck also. See, what I say is, a restaurant can be like a movie, A movie can be all things good, but it is not a hit.
Yes.
And it can also be things are okay, but it's a hit. Same thing happens with restaurants.
True.
So that is what I think is that too many same format things coming again and again. Coffee shops, cafes, resto bars. And good thing which has happened in the last few years is Telugu food has got prominence.
Yes,
when we came to Hyderabad, let's say 30 years back, the first 10, 15, 20 years, you had only a few places to go across. Then I think Spicy Venue was the first guy who brought that, one of the guys. Then Ulavacharu, Viva.
Simply South?
Simply South is not a Telugu place. It's a
South Indian place. Yes.
Simply South is typically like, see, you know about Dakshin, right? Dakshin was an iconic creation.
Yes.
And Simply South is a similar creation. But Simply South, the food, I am a big fan. Like, a lot of times I quietly go and, what I have there? Veg thali. And come away.
I mean, I recently had it literally blew my mind.
His food is too good. Simply South. Hey, now there are many places, many good places. One place I'm very fond of is Kakatiya Deluxe Mess. Have you been there?
Yeah. No, not yet, but
Please.
heard a lot about it.
That place I'm patronizing for last 30 years, almost 20, 25 years. Now, I still visit them twice a month. And these days I more take the takeaway. There's too much of crowd and things like that. You won't believe, whenever I go to Bangalore, there's a mandate from my son to carry some non-veg dishes from Kakatiya. And he is a Hyderabad. He came to Hyderabad when he was 3 years old. His life is in Hyderabad, but he will only say, bring these things from Kakatiya. I think it's one of the iconic places in the city.
I mean, when we talk about restaurants, it's quite debatable because when we go to older times, there were a lot of standalone restaurants.
Yes. Chains were
not there. And now people are just thinking of making franchises and just making bucks. But for some reason, that restaurant culture is dying away.
See, if I'm making money out of a standalone and I am a businessman, right? Why do people come into the restaurant industry? People come, one is a love for food, a lot of a chef starting a restaurant, and a lot of businessmen coming. So if I'm a businessman, naturally I'll try to, scale. Now, once I start to scale, I find that, it is very difficult to scale the whole thing yourself. So that's why people go into franchisee. And when you go into the franchisee, you're not able to maintain the quality of the franchise. It's very big challenge. Even if you put an initial training, you're monitoring and things like that. And the franchisee starts cutting corners. In many places I have seen that, the franchisee starts cutting corners. The SOP they won't follow. Or maybe I don't have people enough to go and, impose the SOP and check if the SOP is being followed. So franchisee model in food is a very difficult. You have to do a lot of back-end work before you can make it a success. That is why possibly this happens. But there are many franchisees. Fuzzy Cafe is a very big franchisee model which works. Many big franchisee models. There's this Wow Momo place you see everywhere. That guy has, I think, 50-60 franchises all over India.
He scaled it to next level.
So there are people who have been successful in this. Some people have done their own branches, like this specialty restaurant, mainland China, and it's a big group now. It started with one restaurant in Bombay, I think.
Right.
From there, now he's got many branches of same restaurant. Plus, he has many formats within his repertoire.
Right.
His stock is also doing very well.
If I want to start a restaurant, should I go like a standalone kind of thing, or should I plan for a franchise model? If I want to just start in
100% a standalone, because being an academically looking at a restaurant and running a restaurant are two different things. Unless I run a restaurant for some time, how will I understand the nuances? Right. See, first I have to dirty my hands and learn. See, restaurant business, people think like another thing. There's a lot of conception, like I'll open a restaurant and I'll offer good food and I'll do a lot of business. It does not work that way.
We'll just bust some myths about
it. It's a lot of blood, sweat and tears. Literally, a restaurant running is one of the more difficult businesses.
Because I keep hearing we make 60% profit, 70%.
No, you
profit.
have to make a
but
lot.
Is that really true?
No, 60% profit in the sense possibly there are a lot of restaurants who don't even know what profit they are making. Because they don't do their accounting properly. But from the food business, see, if you take the sale price and the cost of food, you have that kind of a margin. But then there are so many other things coming.
Yeah.
You take it from my side, 75% of the restaurants don't make profits. As simple as that. So it's a difficult business. You got to learn the business. So one needs to start with a standalone and dirty hands and give your sweat and learn. And then once you're confident about that, there's this guy called Pondi Parota. He had a small place here nearby, Vengalrao Nagar, I think, first. From there, look how he has grown slowly.
There are some restaurants.
So he used his experience from the first place to replicate, and now I keep on meeting him. He's so nice, he's always introduced new dishes. That is what I like about him. That it's not that the old things he was offering. He'll always have a few things. Yeah, I think he was offering ambur biryani, this, that, all kinds of stuff. So that is in my mind. That should be the model.
Right. So where do you see this whole food industry in next 5-10 years? Like,
Huge, because I was reading an article that in India people eat out 20% of what the people in China eat out. If the China people are eating out, let's say 10 times a month, the Indians are eating out 2 times a month. So that is the market size, market growth, which is
still yet to come.
Yeah, it is a huge market left to be explored. Okay, the whole thing will change. For example, the Zomatos and Swiggis have changed there's a paradigm shift in the restaurant business. Many restaurants do more business in delivering with Zomato and Swiggy than in restaurant business.
Yes.
So these paradigm shifts will keep on taking place, but there's huge potential.
I mean, not many restaurants really make. I mean, if a new restaurant is coming up, do you really think Swiggy and Zomato can really help them boost their business?
Yes, 100%. See, the thing is, if you're opening a restaurant, you need to have a little bit of deep pocket. See, Swiggy and Zomato, one is they charge 25%, 30% and all those things. But look at the publicity they're giving. A lot of times, I suddenly feel like having a donne biryani. So I just go on to Swiggy or Zomato and search for donne biryani. Some 10 names come, I look at them, make an idea and order from one.
Right.
He's an unknown this thing. So that fellow would have never reached me if Swiggy was not there. See, basically that is what I'm trying to see. See, influencers are abused. Swiggy, Zomato is also abused a lot. They are taking 25%. They are taking 25-30% not just for your delivery. They are also giving you access to a huge market.
Yes.
Why do you think ONDC and other initiatives don't work out? People were offering at 10% delivery, 15%. Why did not they? Because they could not get the customers.
For some reason, unit economics is also not working.
Yes. See, anything which it's a duopoly situation, Swiggy and Zomato. See, it is surviving because it's a win-win for everybody. If I feel that yes, Swiggy Zomato is not doing, I don't need Swiggy Zomato, I will not keep Swiggy Zomato. I can still be a restaurant. Right? People have tried. I have seen initiatives where in a particular locality, restaurants got together. They hired people to deliver.
It didn't work out.
It did not work out. Okay, because Swiggy and Zomato gives you access to a market also. They do the marketing for you also. Many restaurants, small restaurants I know, they do 70-80% of their business through
Swiggy, Zomato.
So you have to fine tune your business model. If that guy is taking 25, then how do I work out? What kind of recipes do I choose where the cost is low?
Yeah, makes sense.
For example, let's say I'll give an example.
Churro.
Churro. It's a fad. People love it, but you'll find the cost is very low. Okay, you can price it much more than your cost. So what needs to be innovative in those things?
So when we are getting into Swiggy, Zomato, we need to be very...
No, but these days too, everybody prices their Swiggy, Zomato dishes higher. See, that has become acceptable. Earlier, people, today it is, if I'm buying a biryani at 250, when I'm swigging it, the same hotel is showing us 300. If that is so, then it's fair enough. Because the customer anyway is paying you 20% extra.
Yeah, for convenience fees and all.
Yes. No, not a convenience fee. The list price is different. The Swiggy menu price is different from the normal restaurant price. So it's fine. Today, most of us, we order in food more than we eat out.
True.
Right? Morning I get up, it's all impulse. Morning I get up, okay, what is there for breakfast? Okay, I don't like this breakfast. Okay, let me order out. Order it. So much impulse buying is taking place. I even order my samosas suddenly.
Really?
Suddenly evening I'm feeling hungry, what to do? Let me order some 10 samosas and eat a few. So it happens. This kind of buying was absent earlier. So imagine the width of the market, how much it has increased.
Probably it's going to grow much more.
Absolutely. The huge growth. It's not a sunrise industry, but this industry has huge potential. And it is the responsibility of the restaurateurs that, they harness this power.
Yes.
They have great power now.
So I wanted to ask one more. You might be seeing these pop-ups coming up. Lot of chefs coming. They're trying really brilliant menus, probably for a shorter time, but they're really priced at a very premium, 5,000 per person.
Yes.
So that culture is slowly building up within the city, and people really want to try and explore new foods. But do you see any scope of a standalone restaurant where they serve this on a regular basis? Do you think that might work out? Because
See,
these pop-ups,
what is the segment of the market who goes for a 5,000? See, pop-ups and promotions. There are two things. One is the pop-ups in a restaurant or something, or like, another is the restaurants do these festivals, these top end, mainly the star hotels. These are basically giving people chance to, taste new cuisines or what I'll say, a new take on the same old dish. It can be that also. There is a good market for that, but the market needs to expand for that to
survive as a restaurant.
In a restaurant, like a new restaurant, new concept, you need to have a couple of signature dishes which you need to promote. If the signature dish gets a buzz, people will come for that signature dish and end up ordering 2-3 more dishes and slowly get hooked onto those things. That is why you find that people are blindly following resto bars and cafes and biryani joints, because that's the easier way. The acceptability of the food is already in the market. When you are a pioneer, it is your responsibility to popularize the food also.
Yes.
So it becomes that much more difficult. But people do it.
So what advice would you give for any aspiring food blogger?
Major advice which I give is fall in love with your food. You must be already in love with your food mostly. But if you are not falling in love with your food, research your food, read about food. Prepare yourself for that work. You need to be reading various, I read a lot of books on food. And all the newspaper here, there, web is such a huge thing. So be knowledgeable. Otherwise, there was this pop-up by XYZ in this place, and then you give a list of dishes they did. It's doesn't serve any purpose. You have to value add to your followers, basically. Okay, maybe you have 1,000. These kind of things, there are not too many takers. But then at least you are doing justice to your followers. You are enriching them. So I think I find the knowledge quotient a bit low. There are very good people. I named a few also. So, but then if you are planning to make a career, today people are making a career in the food influencing. Please, spend some time in preparing for that career. Just like you study finance to become a CA.
Right.
You have to read to become a food influencer.
Great. I mean, so many insights. I guess all the audience would really learn so many things from what you have shared today. And is there anything else you would want to add?
Not really. We've spoken about many things. I can go on and on, but then these things are limited. What I want to add is basically I'm very bullish on the restaurant scene in Hyderabad, and a lot of good work is happening. Not only the new restaurants are opening, now we have abundant choice for having good food in the city.
Yes.
And it was not so, 15, 20 years back. So that way things are changing for the better. I feel that the home chef thing is a revolution. It happened partly due to the COVID, but the kind of varieties, like for example, if you want Gujarati food, there's this person called Dinesh Purushottam. You are aware of him? He is a 70-year-old person, but he makes fantastic Gujarati dishes.
So he's based in Hyderabad.
He's based in Secunderabad.
Okay.
So home chefs is a huge revolution. Many of them don't do well because possibly they don't understand marketing that well. Cloud kitchens, I have huge hopes. So I think it's a win-win time, and the new food lovers are in for a rocking time. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward how the industry will grow.
Absolutely.
And probably would want your inputs also.
Absolutely, any time. And again, there are a lot of culinary institutes. There are a lot of things are getting formalized. It's very good.
Great. So thank you, sir, so much. Such an insightful podcast, I would say. I hope we'll have a great journey in the food industry.
Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.